Well, I've done a lot of environmental education. I work for a marine science summer camp where I teach 7-year-olds about the environment. We take them out to the sea natural areas and learn about protection. I also founded the Eco Club at my high school, and I just kind of, through my major and the classes that I've taken, been working consistently to help do education and teach people about the environmental problems. I guess it was ever since I was younger, because my dad's an ecologist, so I was always going on trail cleanups and going with him to the marsh and doing oyster bed recycling, so it just became something that was naturally ingrained in me and as a child, and I just kind of continued with it through my education. I've been very involved with the fracking debate and protests and dealing with that introduction problem to our state. There's a policy issue and then there's a pollution and environmental issue. So for the environmental side, obviously, because fracking involves the fracturing of the ground with chemicals in order to release natural gas, those chemicals go into the deep water systems, and that water can then be contaminated when people try and drink it. I think for North Carolina, there's the big potential for it to stay the same, but a large part of that is because of the geological implications of North Carolina. The part of the Jurassic basin that we're in doesn't have a lot of natural gas. You have to drill very deep, and it's just not technologically possible in most areas. I think if we had large reservoirs, it would be open right away and politically as far as the climate in North Carolina. I'm a big proponent of education. I think being involved, talking to your legislatures, because they are elected by us, and so they are supposed to be responsible for what we feel and represent that in their policy. So call your local congressperson, your legislator, talk to them about the issues, educate yourself, educate other people, learn about if you live near an area that's going to be affected by fracking or by proposed fracking if it happens in the future. I think honestly, education and making sure you know the issues and people around you know the issues is vital. So we have local chapters of the Sierra Club, which on campus is particularly active, and it's a great resource for learning about local issues, especially the policy side. They're really good with that. I definitely think there are organizations on campus that are really helpful. When I was a senior, I had the opportunity to do a short-term study abroad in Belize. And I think that was really integral into realizing that I wanted to do work with the environment, and specifically environmental law. So as we were flying in, we went over Guatemala and the Belize border. And on the Guatemalan side, it was completely deforested and all the trees were taken down. And then on the Belizean side, it was completely green because of their protection and their laws. But you could see little pockets of land where Guatemalan laborers had come in to poach the trees to bring back lumber to Guatemala because they'd deforested so much of their own. And I think that's kind of the moment when I realized that policy is so important and environmental protection makes a tangible, visible difference. And you have this comparison of a country that doesn't help protect its resources and a country that does. And it's so visible and so obvious that I realized I wanted to be part of a system that helped protect the environment. I hate to be a cliche, but typical things like recycle, throw out your trash, be aware of like you're brushing your teeth, turn the water off. Just the things that they tell you in all the PSAs on TV are actually pretty important and pretty vital. Just mindfulness in general, just being aware of what you're doing, how much paper you're using, like just think about the impact that you're having on things you do every day and just be aware of how that's going to have a greater environmental impact in the future.